A very warm welcome, dear children, and it's a surprise for you now, because all this while your biology classes were being taken by Ma'am Neeta Dhawan, and so from today onwards I will be taking your biology classes. I will be teaching biology in classes 10th B, C and D. So 3 sections I will take and 1 section Ma'am Neeta Dhawan will take. And Ma'am Neeta Dhawan has taught you all very well, and she's explained things very well, but then as a part of revision which all the classes will go through, I mean they all the lessons that have been taught up till Saturday will now be revised for a few weeks, 1 or 2 weeks revision work will be done. So on the basis of revision, I will just take up these topics in a very summarized form, all the topics that Ma'am Neeta Dhawan has taught, and then you will maintain a register. Ma'am must have already told you, you will maintain a register for biology in which you will be doing your written work. Now please don't take things lightly. Remember, you are in class 10th and the situation here is such that the board can ask anything as an evidence for your work, right? Since you're not coming to school, so you need to keep things ready, and you never know that your notebooks that you are maintaining, maybe that is marked, right? Earlier there were 5 marks given for the notebook assessment, but other than that maybe more marks are taken, right? So if you maintain your work properly, if you do your written work properly, then you will be benefiting out of that, right? So please maintain your notebooks well, and because about the practical work etc., we will be telling you all later what you need to do regarding the maintenance of your practical notebook, right? So very important is that all the PDFs that I will send you now, I will send the question as well as the answer, and you just have to copy that in your notebook. There should be no photocopy or maintaining the photocopy that ma'am I have taken the photocopy and this is the file that I have. No, you keep that file with you. You will have to maintain your notebook, even if you have to buy a new notebook for that. Now the market is open, and you can go to the market and purchase a new notebook for that, right? So a register for biology, right? Please maintain, I am repeating it, maintain your things, all your records very nicely, so that you are at a benefit. All right, if you in the previous board exams there were few exams that were cancelled. Now how are the marks calculated for those exams? The board can it asks the school also to give the marks. Now if you don't perform well in your internals, then you are at a loss, right? So please start learning your work and maintaining your notebook, right? So we will start with the first lesson, life processes, and it's just a quick revision, right? Life is present in all the living organisms, right? So then there are certain characteristics of living things, right? Now if we talk about the characteristics of the living things, the first thing that comes to our mind is if we see an organism moving, we know that that is living, right? So movement is one characteristic. Then we will see that living things, they require food, they require air, water, etc. to stay alive, right? Then we also see that all the living organisms, they grow, they respond to the changes in the environment and the surrounding. That means response to stimuli, right? And they respire, all the living organisms, you and me, we respire and release energy from food, right? Basically what is respiration? It is a release of energy from the food, right? That is oxidation of food takes place, that leads to the release of energy, and that is respiration, right? Since this takes place inside the cells, so we call it cellular respiration. Then all the living organisms excrete, all the living organisms reproduce, right? Now when I am saying living organisms, we are including plants also, right? So then there is one difference, that movement does not take place in plants. Movement in the sense, locomotion does not take place in plants. The plants cannot move from one place to another, right? The the smaller ones like algae and all, they can be carried away, drifted by the waves of water from one place to another place. So that is there. But as such, the plants, they do not move, they are fixed in one place, but movement in the body parts when the wind is blowing, then that kind of a movement is observed in them, right? Now we come to the term life processes. Now what does life process means, right? Now when we said that we find, how do we identify a living organism, we see that if an organism is moving, if it is respiring, excreting, if it is taking in water, food, etc., we say that that organism is a living organism, right? So the basic functions which are performed by living organisms to maintain life on earth are called life processes. That means all those functions that the body of an organism performs to stay alive are known as living processes, right? Now for example, nutrition and respiration, right? If we do not take in food and there is no respiration, we would not be alive, right? Because respiration is what provides us energy, and if we don't take in food, then how will respiration provide the energy? What would the oxygen in the body react to give us energy, right? So that keeps us alive. Similarly, transport of materials, right? When we eat food, if it remains at one place, would it be of any use? Not at all. It has to reach all the cells, to all the cells of the body, all the parts of the body. So for that, for it to reach all the parts of the body, it needs to be transported, right? Now if you are sitting at home and you want to reach the school, and by just sitting, you just tell your parents, now I want to be in school, right? Or like that Shakalaka Boom Boom, if you watched that serial, anything he drew would come alive over there, right? So that kind of a practice, that is not possible, right? We will not be able to reach school just by thinking that I have to reach school. You will have to move from your house out to reach the school. You have to take the road to reach the school, right? So similarly here also, when we eat food, if it remains in one place, it is of no use. It has to be transported to all the cells, because all the cells are functioning. You studied cells in class 9th, right? Cells are the basic unit of life. So that means every cell is functioning, carrying out its function, and since the cells are functioning, we are alive. So for functioning, for doing some work, energy is required, right? So here again, transportation will provide nutrients to the cells. Other than that, all the waste materials, when the cells are carrying out some function, if there is a metabolic activity taking place in the cell, metabolic activity means if there is a chemical reaction taking place in the cell. You studied chemical reactions and you know products are formed, right? Now out of the products formed, some are useful and some are not required by the body. So if that material or that substance is not required by the body, it needs to be removed from the body. Now staying in one place inside the cell, it won't be removed. So that also needs to be transported, right? So that is why transportation is required. Now when we talk about animals or the human beings, transportation takes place with the help of the circulatory system, right? And then excretion. Excretion is another thing. It has to be removed from our body, right? So all the waste products need to be removed. The nitrogenous waste products are poisonous to our body, so in the form of urine it is removed from our body. So there the excretion plays a role. Now if the excretory system does not function, then we won't be alive. The body will turn poisonous because of the accumulation of the poisonous materials. Then control and coordination, that means response to the stimuli, the working of the nervous system and the brain, right? That is also important to keep us alive. Growth of course is there, movement is there, reproduction is there to keep the next generation alive, right? So reproduction is also a very, very important part of life process, right? Okay, so now we start with the first part, that is nutrition. We will only talk about nutrition today in this class. And when we say nutrition, then we say that food is an organic substance and the simplest food is glucose, right? And it is also called simple sugar. A more complex food is starch, right? So starch is made up of glucose, and then the general name given to the substances like glucose, sugar and starch is known as carbohydrates, right? So they are the most common foods for getting energy. Other than that, you've studied about fats, about proteins. They also provide energy. Proteins are required by our body, right? A wider definition of food includes mineral salts. Now, other than fats, carbohydrates, proteins, we also require minerals in our body. Vitamins are required in our body. Water is also essential, right, for normal growth and development of an organism. So the process of taking in food or consuming food and utilizing that food is known as nutrition. Right? So what is nutrition? The process of taking in food and utilizing the food. Nutrition, the process of taking in food, that is consuming food and utilizing it. So that is known as nutrition. So that is what we will talk about in today's class. We will discuss about nutrition, right? So again here, this nutrition, it provides us energy, and the term nutrition comes from the word nutrient, which is an organic or inorganic substance that is required for the maintenance of life. So a nutrient can be basically defined as a substance which an organism obtains from the surroundings and uses it as a source of energy. Think again. Nutrient can be defined as a substance which an organism obtains from its surrounding. We get our food from our surrounding, right? And we eat food and it is actually a source of energy. When you don't eat food, you feel weak. So food is a source of energy, right? So it says here, for the biosynthesis of its body constituents like tissues and organs, right? So energy is required by tissues as well as organs, right? Now we come to the modes of nutrition, right? So nutrition, we know, is a process of intake of nutrients, consuming or taking in nutrients like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins and water by an organism, as well as the utilization of these nutrients by the organism. Like, now what do we mean by utilization of the nutrients by an organism? Now for example, if we just say carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates. Now what is this carbohydrate used for? It is used to provide energy, right? So that is what is the utilization of the nutrients, right? Similarly, fat also provides energy, right? Then we come to proteins, right? And minerals, vitamins. You studied what is what happens due to the mineral deficiency in our body, right? What kind of diseases a person can suffer from. Similarly, vitamin deficiency, you studied all those deficiency diseases, right? So what are these utilized for? That is the utilization of the nutrients in our body. Next we come to the modes of nutrition. You've already studied the modes of nutrition. That is, what do we mean by mode of nutrition? The method of procuring food, or procuring means obtaining food by an organism, right? How does an organism obtain food from the surrounding? That is known as mode of nutrition. Now there are mainly two modes of nutrition that all of you know, and ma'am has already taught you. The two modes of nutrition are autotrophic and heterotrophic. Right, very simple, autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic means, autotrophic means obtaining food by an organism, right? So what are these? Utilization of the nutrients in our body. Nutrition, the process of taking in food or consuming food and utilizing it as a source of energy. Think again. Nutrient can be defined as a substance which an organism obtains from the surroundings. We get our food from our surrounding. So Auto means self and trophe means nutrition, right? So that means to prepare food by one own self, right? So that is autotrophic mode of nutrition. So this mode of nutrition is that in which an organism makes or synthesizes. You'll come across the term synthesize, right? That means to make. Synthesizes its own food from simple inorganic materials like carbon dioxide, water present in the surroundings, and they require energy also for this process to take place, so they utilize the energy of the sunlight, right? So that is photosynthesis, right? All the green plants, their mode of nutrition is autotrophic mode of nutrition. They do not go here and there in search of food, right? They make their food themselves. As it is, they are not mobile, right? They cannot move around. They are stationary, right? So they prepare their food on their own. How on their own? By utilizing carbon dioxide from the air, right? They take water from the soil, and along with the water from the soil, they get some mineral nutrients also, right, for their own maintenance, and that is how they prepare food. So all the green plants, they prepare food on their own in the form of glucose or starch, right? So we will talk about photosynthesis further in this class, right? So the green plants have an autotrophic mode of nutrition, and they are autotrophic bacteria also, which obtain their food by autotrophic mode of nutrition, right? Those organisms which can make their own food from carbon dioxide and water are called autotrophs, right? They contain the green pigment that is very important for the manufacturing of food or the synthesis of food, that is chlorophyll. What is the green pigment required in the autotroph? The green pigment is chlorophyll, right? And what does this chlorophyll do? This chlorophyll is actually able to trap the solar energy. If there is no chlorophyll in the plant, it cannot manufacture the food, because for a process to take place, energy is required. Now if there is no chlorophyll, then sunlight, energy of the sunlight cannot be absorbed. Now when the energy cannot be absorbed, then without the energy, how will the further process take place, right? So it won't be possible. So chlorophyll is very, very important for the plants to manufacture their food. Then we come to the next mode of nutrition, which is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now if we break the word, hetero means different and or others also, and trophic means nutrition. So that means using different sources to obtain nutrition, right? So they cannot manufacture their own food, they are dependent on other sources for nutrition, and we come under heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In fact, all animals, right, they cannot manufacture their own food and they are dependent on other sources for food. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition is that nutrition in which an organism cannot make or cannot synthesize its own food from simple inorganic. These simple inorganic substances are available to us also, right? Even we are exposed to carbon dioxide, we have water, we have minerals all around us, but we cannot utilize all these things to manufacture food on our own. We can't do that, right? So we are dependent on other sources for food. We need to cook the food outside our body, right? And what do the plants do? They do it inside the body, right? So that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Those organisms which cannot make their own food from inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, and are dependent on other organisms for food. Dependent on other organisms could be dependent on animals, dependent on plants for food, right? Non-vegetarians, they take in the animals also as food. Vegetarians, even the non-vegetarians are dependent on plants for food, right? So dependent on other sources for food. Now the non-green plants, right, non-green plants like yeast are also heterotrophs, right? They depend on autotrophs and other heterotrophs for their food, right? So animals are heterotrophs which depend on plants and other animals for their food. Right, so now we move on to the next part of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and here we will discuss about the types of heterotrophic nutrition. So we will go into the detail of types of heterotrophic nutrition. Right, so heterotroph we know are dependent on other sources for food. The other sources could be plants as well as animals. So types of heterotrophic nutrition. Right. So here when we talk about types of heterotrophic nutrition, we basically study three main types of heterotrophic nutrition. We study saprotrophic, parasitic and holozoic mode of nutrition, right? Saprotrophic, also known as saprophytic, right? So saprotrophic, parasitic and holozoic mode of nutrition. These are the three types of heterotrophic nutrition. Coming to the first one, saprotrophic nutrition is that nutrition in which an organism obtains its food from dead and decaying matter of plants and animals, right? So an organism obtaining food from dead leaves, dead flowers, right, dead stems, or the dead plants, right, the dead animals, right, from rotten bread. If you remember, I'm sure you must have seen the growth of fungus on food, especially the bread mold. You've studied about that, right? So that is the saprophytic mode of nutrition, and the word sapro means rotten. So a saprophytic organism, it draws its food from rotting wood of dead and decaying trees, rotten leaves, dead animals, right, household waste like rotten bread, right. The word sapro itself means rotten. So that means deriving food from rotten materials. If something is rotten, it is dead, then only it is rotten, right. So here this means rotten. Sapro means rotten food, right. So saprophytes are the organisms which obtain their food from dead plants like rotten leaves, bread, parts of the plants, dead and decaying animal bodies, right, dead and decaying animal bodies, animals which die and they are left like that, and nobody is there to bury them, so that gets decayed. You can get that smell also. So rotten bread, fungus obtains the food from rotten bread. Now what is important is that the saprophytes, they break down the complex organic molecules. Now where are these complex organic molecules present? They are present in those parts of dead plants and animals, right, the decaying matter. Inside that the complex organic molecules are present, and what do these saprophytes do is they convert the complex organic molecules into simpler substances, right. So what they do is they convert